is a former gang member who some people say invented gangsta rap. He sold over 10 million albums worldwide, amazing, and appeared in over 17 movies. He travels the country these days talking to high school and college kids about getting real. Please welcome Ice-T.
Crenshaw's in the house. That's his school. That's my school right there.
You went to Crenshaw High.
Yeah, Crenshaw High. Crenshaw High is like as far as South Central goes, it's the most central school in the whole city. Like, you know, it's the dead center of Los Angeles, in the middle of the west side and the east side. So if you went to Crenshaw, that means you the bomb. Represent.
What were you like in high school?
I don't know. You know, I was just an average kid at the time I went to Crenshaw. It was like... I was doing a lot of different... I was doing a lot of different things, but that was where I was introduced to the gang scene.
Man, you had a rough early life. You lost your mother. How old were you?
I lost my mother when I was in the 3rd grade and my father when I was in the 7th grade. So.
And then you came out to L.A., lived with an aunt?
Exactly. I came and I lived in an area of Los Angeles called View Park, which is upper middle class black neighborhoods. You know, it was pretty cool there. And that area, they were busing to like white junior high schools. And then when it was time to go to high school, a lot of the kids that were in that area went to Palisades High. But I decided I wanted to just walk across Crenshaw Boulevard and go to the Shaw. And so when I got there, it was a whole nother environment and stuff. And at that time, they were having like a gang war at the time. It was the Brims was in the school and the Crips was taking it over. So, you know,
you were a member of the Crips, weren't you?
I was affiliated. I never was jumped into any gang, but I was affiliated with Rolling 60 Crips, Harlem Crips, Hoover Crips. Basically
so
that.
You don't get tougher than that for a high school kid.
No, at that time, Time Magazine called Crenshaw High School Fort Crenshaw. It was the toughest high school in the country.
And you went through a lot of stuff, and then tell me how you end up in the Army.
What happened was when I was in the 12th grade, I graduated out of Crenshaw on a 20-week report card, which if you get enough credits by going to summer school, you can get out early. But then at the same time, I got my girlfriend pregnant. She was in the 10th grade, and so I was a teen parent. So I left my aunt's house, and I was living by myself at 17 years old. And I decided to, you know, I wanted to try to become responsible because I was out on the streets. I'm running with these hustlers. I'm trying to get money, but I'm really not getting enough. I got a little girl, so I made a decision to try to join the military. So I went in the military, did 4 years.
What did you learn in the military? Can I ask you that?
Nothing, really. Just how to kill. Just how to kill. You know, I was in 25th Infantry Division in Schofield Barracks in Hawaii, and I came back out of the military, and I really didn't want to listen to anybody at that point. The military made me worse, because...
Really?
Yeah, because once you
didn't get any of that internal discipline that they talk about in there?
You can get that same internal discipline going to prison or something, you know.
Right, that's right, you do. A lot of people do get it there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I just came back, and what happened was when I got back home, my boys that were small-time hustlers at that time had become big-time hustlers, and they picked me up from the airport in Mercedes-Benzes and Vets, and they say, yo, Ice, this is how we doing it at this point. You know, we hitting jury licks, and we went out and we started robbing. I was hitting jury licks and doing a lot of different things and getting a lot of money. I made a lot of money at that point. And then I got in some trouble, and I went to Hawaii, and I was pimping for like 2.5 years over there. And then I came back to Los Angeles, and rap just kind of dropped out of the sky. You know, there was no rap.
It kind of dropped out, yeah.
There was no music called rap.
How did it drop out of your mouth?
I don't know. I used to just say rhymes. I used to say these rhymes that were gang-based rhymes, you know, and slogans and stuff. And then this music called hip-hop came out, and I tried to do it my way, but the life I was leading, it wasn't like a rapper. Rappers say stuff like, throw your hands in the air and, you know, and wave them like you just don't care. Only time we ever said throw your hands in the air, we was robbing the party. You know what I'm saying? So my boys was like, you know, Ice, just rap about how we living. So I started rapping about pimps and guns and drugs, and they call that gangster rap. And that was like, I made the first gangster rap record, which was called 6 in the Morning, which is a song about a kid getting chased out of his house by the cops. And
what kind of a wasteland were you living in your head, though? Let me ask you that. What kind of an angry, like, wasteland place was it in your head?
When you ain't got no mother or father,
right,
and the only love you got is from your homeboy who says he'll kill somebody if something happens to you, that turns out to be love to you. Yeah. And you start feeling like the cards are dealt against you. You have the making grounds for a very violent individual, you know. And
because you know what, well, isn't it true? I know for me too. It's like when you're feeling like you're put upon and there's no place you can turn, you start feeling justified in everything you do to take something back, don't you?
Yeah, you feel like the world is against you and they got it and you don't. So whatever I got to do to get it from you, because you ain't giving me no chance. So, you know, you got to pay. You know what I'm saying? And you have to make the world pay. And when you feel like if you die, nobody will care by not having any relatives and no family, really me having my daughter really saved my life in a way, because... I want to talk about what snapped you into a whole new reality, but we're going to take a commercial first. When we come back, we're going to talk more with Ice-T.
This ain't no damn joke. This thing is real to me. I'm Ice-T, O.G. O.G.
Didn't leave home much. I didn't like L.A. Didn't have no friends to trust. Got bused to a school, blacks and whites. I guess it was cool, but by high school I changed. I didn't want to bust. I didn't want to play the game. I walked to Crenshaw High. It was fly. I hooked up with a new crew. Some brothers seemed like they knew what the hell to do. You might call it a gang, but we call it a set. And it was...
But I want to talk about what it was that took you from kind of a lonely and sad and angry place to this new place you're in now, and talk about that a little bit.
I don't know, like I say, it was like rap just kind of dropped out of the sky. I was sitting around one day, I heard Sugar Hill Gang, and I was listening, and I flipped the record over, and I tried to do what they were doing. And next thing you know, I was going to clubs, doing it. People were starting to like it. My boys was basically like, when we would go in a club, they would pay the DJ off so that I could rap, and we could get the girls, because we were just doing it to get the girls at the time and stuff, because they wasn't trying to meet no hustlers. They wanted to meet somebody to think that, you know, they want to be with a celebrity. So we lied and said we were celebrities. And what happened was I got to be in this movie called Breakin', back in the days with Shabba-Doo and Boogaloo Shrimp and all that. And everybody laughs when I say Breakin'. It's funny, because if you look at me in Breakin', I had on leather and spikes and stuff, but I challenge anybody, show me what you wore that night you went to see Breakin'. What clothes you had on, because that was a style, and I was at the top of the, you know, I was doing it then. But after doing that movie, my boys were going to jail, heavy, and they would call me from prison, and a lot of them were getting life sentences for what we were doing, and they was like, Ice, man, stay down, man, you got action, man, you can do this, man, this is going to be big, man, represent for us. And I stuck with rap. So
they were telling you to, like, stay clean and make it?
Yeah, it's like when your friends start going to prison, people you look up to, they're going to call you home. Unless they suckers, they're going to tell you to come on in here with us. Right. So they're going to tell you, they say, man, this ain't no place for no player, man. You need to stay on the bricks, man. You need to stay down with this rapping, man. This is going to be big. And so I kind of stayed with it, and I put out a few albums, and I made my first record, and it sold. I was like, damn, man, I sold a gold record. I was like, damn.
Did that do something, did, like, that success, did that incredible success do anything to, like, where you realized that you owed something?
Well, I always try to put in my music both sides of the game. You know, I always try to put in the real side, which is, you know, you can end up in prison. But I also try to show that it is attractive and it is exciting, or else I'd be lying to myself while I was there in the first place. You know, so I try to balance my records. My records seem to be balanced. I don't make invincible gangsters in my records, but I write from the perspective of a kid out there on the street. I try to give back what I can.
But
you know,
you don't feel any of that stuff anymore. You've changed your whole perspective, haven't you?
my anger is refocused. You know, it's like when you're down in the gutter, you think everybody, it's like you're mad at everybody. Now with me, it's not about being mad at everybody. I don't hate anybody in this audience. It's about me being very angry at the right people. You know, not everybody, just the right people. So.
What do you tell kids? I know you go around and you talk to kids. You're trying to help kids, like, have a better life than you had.
Well, I tell them I understand what's so attractive about it out there. I know what's enticing about it, but first off, the first thing they got to know is they got to believe that they can be something. Once you believe that you're supposed to stay in the ghetto and you can't have things, then you're doomed. You have to believe that you got the same brain cells as Donald Trump, the same talent as anybody out there who you would think is rich, and go after the books, go after the knowledge they have. I mean, I wouldn't need to pay a lawyer if I went to law school. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's like everybody can obtain the same knowledge if they're willing to take the time to do it. And learning is the easiest thing to do because you don't have to move. You know, you can sit in one place and learn a lot of things. You're
talking about like a real internal re-racking of priorities, though, aren't you?
Well, I'm telling them from the perspective of somebody who went down the lane that they think they might want to go, and it turns into a big loop where you go down this lane and you get to this dead end and you see everybody's dead. Everybody's dead. Everybody's in prison for life. And I get phone calls from people on death row, my homies.
How are, like, these kids, these young kids, what can you tell them about staying focused to make it? Just to live. They
got to go about it like it's going to be a war, and it's going to be a war of them against all the negativity that's going to take them down. And if they choose to be negative, then they're going to end up on the negative side. But if they choose to be positive, but they're going to have to fight. It's not going to be easy at all. Like one thing I tell them is like, I don't get high, I don't drink, I never done any drugs. I don't sold drugs, but I never done any drugs. So what does that tell you? It's like when my homies used to be like, yo, Ice, go on, man, you know, hit the joint. I'd be like, I don't want to hit the joint. So if you don't hit the joint, use a... I'm like, well, if I'm a... why don't you make me hit the joint? You know what I'm saying?
They didn't do that, did they?
Nah, you know, it's like, it takes more guts to be yourself than to roll with the crew.
You know what else I think it takes more guts? I'm going to jump right in and give my 2 cents here. It takes
well, you know, because you got guts. That's why I'm on your show, because I respect you.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
I just want to say to kids and everybody out there that I know, because I came up hard too. I didn't come up hard like you came hard, but I came up hard. And it's so much harder. It's so much harder to go for the positive. Oh my God, everything in the whole world is up in your face. Everything is like, hey, come over here, come over here. It's so much harder, and it is being a soldier. It really is a war, and it really is being a soldier. But at the end, if you can stay alive and stay there, you make it.
Exactly. And I think one thing God gave everybody out there, I think the fact that we have kids as adults, I think if adults didn't have children, we would probably all stay children. We would never grow up. But when you see a kid that you put on this earth, it kind of gives you a little responsibility. And you say, man, I can't just go wild. I got a little homie here that's looking out. I got to look out for him. So maybe I need to handle my business. And I'm going to be totally honest. If I didn't have my kid, I don't know if I would be here today. You know, it kind of like put me in check.
I think it's true for everyone on earth. I really do. If none of us had kids, maybe none of us would be here.
I think we'd all be buck wild, you know.
I want to thank you so much for coming on my show. I think you're just a very important person, and you let it rip. You say it. I'm so glad you say it. Please keep saying it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Come back anytime, too. Ice T, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back.